Wes Craven's Scream was responsible for a much-needed resurgence of the horror genre. This movie blended horror conventions with meta-commentary. It challenged audiences to rethink what a scary movie could be. Today you're going to learn 10 things you may not know about Scream. Remember to like, subscribe, and what is your favorite Scream moment? Let me know in the comments below. Wes Craven had a rather unconventional plan when it came to this film's release date. Scream hit the silver screen on December 20th, 1996, which is a rather strange time to release a horror movie. But Craven had a solid reason behind this decision. Craven wanted to target bored teenagers who were home from school on holiday break, looking for a little thrill with the hopes that they would pass on this movie as a suggestion to other kids their age. This unorthodox method ended up yielding big results. Scream brought in $173 million against a $50 million budget, making it a huge horror hit and paving the way for a sequel. The opening scene of a movie has to be done right, or viewers may lose interest in the plot right away. Scream has one of the most iconic openings of all time. A very young Drew Barrymore gives a very convincing performance, but something Wes Craven did helped get even more emotion out of Drew. To make Drew cry hysterically at times, Wes used a story about a dog being burned to death by its owner. His trigger line would be, Drew, lighting the lighter. Kind of a messed up way to get someone to cry, but that's showbiz. We get a rousing performance from Drew Barrymore in the opening of this movie, but a technical slip-up turned this movie into the real deal. We see Drew's character calling the cops in the movie. The funny thing is, she actually called the cops more than once because the prop phone was still connected to a real phone line. All the confusion was cleared up after the cops called back and were told it was from a movie set. No horror movie would be complete without teenagers getting wasted, smoking crazy things, and engaging in adult extracurriculars. The party scene took the longest to film, believe it or not. The party scene runs for 42 minutes and was shot over the course of 20 days, from sunrise to sunset. The crew actually made t-shirts that said, "I survived Scene 118. The cast and the crew dubbed Scene 118 the longest night in horror history. This movie had some standout performances, but one of the best ones came from Matthew Lillard.
I'm feeling woozy here!
Matthew came into the role of Stu by accident and ended up giving fans a performance that is still talked about today. Matthew gave his all for his performance of a twisted yet comical maniac. He improvised a couple of moments near the end of the movie. The first was when the phone slipped out of Billy's hand and hit Stu in the back of the head.
Hit me with the phone!
The second was when he says this line while on the phone with Sydney.
My mom and dad are gonna be so mad.
Rumor is that Stu is not really dead and will be reprising his role in Scream 7 in 2026. This movie is chock full of screams, stabbings, and lots of blood. The character of Ghostface made a strong impression on horror fans with just how ruthless he was with a blade, but a mistake near the end of the movie gave this actor a real injury. Sydney is in the fight of her life against two crazed psychopaths, and to turn the table, she wears the Ghostface outfit and stabs Billy twice in the chest with an umbrella. But the second stab missed the protective vest actor Skeet Ulrich was wearing and hit his chest where he had open heart surgery as a kid. His screams of pain were real. Scream gave viewers a new type of horror movie, but also kept classic horror tropes and even references one of the most well-known horror movies of all time. At the beginning of the movie, when Drew Barrymore's character Casey meets her demise, her parents come home unaware of what happened. The dad says this line to his wife,
Get in the car. Drive down to the Mackenzies.
which is the exact line Scream Queen Jamie Lee Curtis told her friends to do in Halloween.
I want you to go down the street to the Mackenzie's house. I want you to tell them to call the police.
This movie is riddled with classic horror callbacks. The masked slasher, Ghostface, is a welcomed villain in a long line of horror icons, like Michael Myers, Jason, and Freddy Krueger. But what makes Ghostface unique is not his presence on screen, but rather his presence off-screen. The eerie voice is performed by Roger Jackson. This behind-the-scenes decision by director Wes Craven really solidifies the nature of Ghostface. Drew Barrymore and Neve Campbell never met Roger Jackson. In fact, none of the cast did. This was done to bring out the shock factor reactions he needed from everyone whenever they engaged in conversation with this chilling voice.
What's your favorite scary movie?
This movie takes place in a small town in Southern California during the 1990s and features very common tropes and aesthetics for that time. But during production, a certain school district created some much unneeded drama. The high school scenes were originally going to be shot at Santa Rosa High School, but at the last second, the school district rejected the movie to be shot there. They thought it was going to be a comedy, not a horror movie. The scenes ended up being shot in Healdsburg, California. Wes Craven had a petty response to this. At the end of the credits, under special thanks, he put, "No thanks whatsoever to the Santa Rosa School District Governing Board." And lastly, Scream not only revitalized a dying genre, but unintentionally popularized a system the whole world relies heavily on today, caller ID. Due to the traumatic nature of receiving a phone call from a deranged psycho, caller ID services tripled following the release of this movie. Well, there it is. 10 facts you may not know about Scream. I hope you learned something new. Remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any upcoming content. See you soon.